And as always, by Tega Supreme. Good morning, Tega.
Good morning.
Tega, do you feel like a hog this morning? I've got a lot to share.
Val is sharing
Hogs. Free
virus this morning.
Hogs.
They call it a Greek gift.
To join the conversation this morning, send a message through WhatsApp to 0809444091. We're also on Twitter.
At Snooze981FM, use the hashtag LockerRoom981. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube. Catch all the action on and behind the scenes on there and get to see Tega give you a little two peace signs this morning.
All right, starting with our first story about Nigeria. Now, the African champions bow to the hosts, but the Gaffer is proud of her players' performance in Rennes. Nigeria's women's coach, Thomas Dennerby, has applauded his players for their discipline and character after a 1-0 loss to host France in Rennes on Monday. In his words, Dennerby said to the media, and I quote, "My Nigeria players are the heroes. I am disappointed with the result. Now, France is really a good team and does not need support from anybody to win games. I feel so sorry because the girls were fighting so well and followed the match plan, but it's getting destroyed by people. Of course, we're not happy."
Hey, nobody destroyed your plans. You made some juvie mistakes and, things happened. And I understand Nigerians are angry and upset, but that was a penalty. The fact that referee didn't see it immediately doesn't change the fact that it was a penalty. So there's no argument about that. And then you can argue about the penalty being retaken. Yes, your goalkeeper did not have any of her legs on the line, and she has to have at least 1 foot on the line. So, according to new IFAB rules, which was explained to her just before the penalty was about to be taken, she had to have at least 1 foot on the line. She didn't have anyone. So it had to be retaken. And yes, you can talk about the encroachment and why it wasn't retaken a third time. But you see, there's no bias here. It was a penalty. It should have been retaken. Everything was done according to the rules. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Don't
Just
cry for me, France.
hope that you can make it through. Truth be told, Nigeria is the front runner to get one of the 2 last spots of third best placed team. Unfortunately, you'd be contending with Chile, who have to play Thailand today, and we all know that Thailand gives away goals. So, so Chile is on -5 goals difference. So if they do win Thailand, which I'm assuming that they should, then they may get all 3 points, and depending on the number of goals they score, they can go through. Cameroon is playing New Zealand today, and either one of those teams can go through depending on how many goals again they win by, because they are both on the goal difference of -3. Nigeria is on -2. So Nigeria is, of all the teams that are remaining that could book a spot, Nigeria is front runner.
Okay.
But they should just pray that for some reason the Thai goalkeeper just decides that for her honor and her country, she will die on the line.
Yes.
And same thing with New Zealand and Cameroon. Maybe they should play out in draw or something equally ridiculous.
Keep her legs away from the
line. So what we need to do is put your calculator on top of your Bible and leave it there too.
Such a combination.
I mean, you have to hold both. Yeah. That's the way it is. We now calculate to see if the Super Falcons can go through, and then we pray to make it happen, and that's what it is. So it's sad that that's what happened, but I mean, think about it realistically. How many of you expected Nigeria to come out of the group stage when the draws were made?
I did, honestly did, and I'm still rooting.
No, we're not counting you. This is emotional support. We're talking of people that did the punditry and the analysis. So there's not a lot, and then so they now face the group champions, group leaders. Sorry. France and the host of the country, and they held them. I mean, think about it. Took till the 80th minute to give away that juvie penalty. That's what I'll call it again. And so they really have punched just slightly above their weight. So if they can make it through to the next round, they're still going to meet either one of Germany. In fact, it looks confirmed that it may be Germany. Either way, the journey is not getting any easier. So don't cry for VAR. Save your tears. There may be something.
I like you right now.
I mean, something else. But let's congratulate the ladies. They really did
they
put in an effort. Unfortunately, they were beaten by better side. What are the better side? Was better by technology or better on the pitch?
We got off lightly. We just 1-0. I think we got off really lightly.
No, I think we end our 1-0.
Sorry?
We end it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, when you say you got off lightly, you say
it could have been 5-0.
No, we're not Thailand. No, I refuse to agree.
All right, let's go on to tennis. This is we're not agreeing on women's football. Roger Federer sets up Joe Wilfred Songa clash. Now he will meet Joe Wilfred Songa next after beginning his grass court season with a 7-6 7-1 6-3 win over Australia's John Millman in Halle. Now, Federer said it is always important to win your first game on grass because otherwise the grass season can be very short. Neither offered up any break points in the first set, and after Federer had swept the tie-break, the Swiss secured the only break of the second set.
Yeah, and he's so right about the way the grass court season is. If you see the build-up to the hard courts of the US Open especially, and sometimes that just translates into Australian Open, even if it's different types of hard courts. There's a lot of tournaments. If you see the build up into the Roland Garros, there's the 1000 Masters and the rest. You look at the build up into the grass courts, it's the Queen's Championship or this championship that he's playing in, and all of them mostly 500 ATP tournaments, not the biggest of tournaments. And so if you don't last long in the field you can apply to playing, then at the end of the day you're not even well prepared when Wimbledon comes and just smacks you in the face. So he's right, it was I was glad with the opponent he faced. Millman had beaten Roger Federer previously, so it was right for him to face a tough opponent, get the win, and now he's going to face Tsonga today. Those kind of tough matches put you in competitive mode, and you're ready. You get into Wimbledon, and it's not like you're strolling into the park. You're already ready for a battle. So I guess that's what he's happy with, and he's happy for the win. Eventually, let's see how this works out for Wimbledon. For me, again, I'll be glad to see the top four in the semifinals of Wimbledon.
Doesn't it get boring?
Never. Never. Different days, different. I mean, the same player, but on a different day they will turn out differently. So
Right.
Tohib on WhatsApp says, "Good morning, guys. I hope Chile defeats Thailand less than 3 goals.
Amen.
With less than 3 goals, so that Nigeria can qualify." Amen. Like Cheka said. SOJ says, "Please, when are we going to be delivered from the spirit of permutation?"
soon.
OBJ from Lekki sent in this message.
He said, Tega is not analyzing for us on Nigeria versus France game. The VAR should have picked the two French players whose legs were in the 18-yard box. The VAR should be discarded just like golden goal.
Let me defend that. Now,
defend.
the encroachment rule, again, IFAB has tweaked that encroachment rule. The encroachment rule only applies when the player is in obvious play for the rebound. So if one of those French players that encroached the penalty touched, maybe the penalty was saved or it came off the post and they touched it, that's the only way VAR will review it.
Okay.
Do you understand? So it's just like some fouls that are not reviewed by VAR, even if they're outside the box. The same thing with the VAR rule. So even if there was encroachment and there shouldn't be encroachment, VAR cannot review it except the player touches the ball or is in play. And that's why VAR didn't come in. So yes, the rest of you watch it on TV and saw that there was encroachment, but the referee did not. Well, she claimed she did not see it, and VAR cannot review it.
Okay.
So that's the problem.
Chimabi Victor says, he thinks Super Falcons shouldn't be demoralized if they fail to qualify for the next round, because if they do, they will either face USA or Germany, which may be difficult for them. He also thinks we should stop painting the Super Falcons defeat as if they're going to win the World Cup.
I put you and Tega in the same WhatsApp group. Not going in there.
All right. Leave group.
Okay.
Ferrari say they expect to struggle compared to Mercedes at this weekend's French Grand Prix. According to team boss Martia Binotto, he said the French track will not suit the car. He also made this statement. Says Paul Ricard was a tricky circuit for us last year. Now we know this kind of track isn't particularly favorable for our package. However, Mercedes Formula One boss Toto Wolff said the Ferrari straight line speed advantage could again pay dividends for the Italian team.
Yes. Here it is. So Ferrari and Mercedes claiming each other are the strongest at France, but we'll know by Sunday. But what it is especially because of Ferrari's performance in the last race where Sebastian Vettel won, even if he had to re-enter the track in a dangerous manner. Because of that challenge, Ferrari is now looking good and feeling good, and especially on this track where they have straights. And like I said, all season Ferrari have been the fastest cars on the straights. The trick is that in as much as there are a lot of straights in this circuit, there's still a lot of corners, which is where Mercedes have the advantage. And the corners are in strategic places. So even if the Ferrari does overtake you on the straights, when you get to the corners, if you're still close and within the DRS zone, you can get your spot back. So there's going to be a fight. And Ferrari is now saying that Mercedes has an advantage. Mercedes is saying Ferrari has an advantage. At the end of the day, on Sunday, we will know who has the advantage. But what it is that because of that performance in the last weekend, the fight and some bite have come back into Ferrari. So that's very good for the championship battle. At least it will make the races weekend in, weekend out very interesting.
All right.
Let's take a break and a breather. I will come back to more stories and your messages here on Smooth 98.1. Remember, you can watch us live on YouTube and leave a comment there. I see them.
And ask funny questions.
On WhatsApp, it's 0809-444-0981 for your messages. Stay with us.
And you're listening
Please,
to Smooth.
Kodri, what has Valentine's towel? What is it doing to the analysis?
Towel is for bathroom.
What is it?
I agree. Kodri, ask.
What is it? What has
Is it bathing here?
What has it got to do with anything?
Are you bathing here?
Because I have a cold, I don't want to.
Oh, disgusting. What a disgusting fellow.
Catch.
So I can't even touch your shoulder now because I don't know where that oil has run.
I said I'll hug you.
Jesus.
I'll hug you and I'll put your head here.
You
No, but don't
hug me and put my head where?
Yes,
I will collect money from you. I'm cuckoo broke. I will sue Smooth FM.
You just
And I'll sue Smooth FM die. Sexual harassment. Pa. My lawyer will cuckoo hear of it. I want 10M. Let me use and do LIS.
Oh, speaking of mind.
The way forward is forward, my dear. Yes, people, VAR can review. Clear and obvious error only. VAR wasn't against you, eh?
Yes.
What did Sanwo-Olu do again? Yeah, he didn't repair Ejibo Road. That's all he didn't do.
Introduction. Then,
Where's Sam? There's something showing up on my Twitter that shouldn't be there. Sam, Mugi! Sam is going to leave this office for me one day. But he'll be fine.
I see it coming soon.
You see it coming soon, Abby?
Yeah.
He'll be alright. You're not well. It should be enough.
I'm not well. I said it this morning. I didn't tell you that.
No. You're not feeling well. It's different from you're not well. You don't know. You didn't learn this English way. Come, baby boy. See this thing. Why is it has gone. So as soon as I called it, this thing went. I remove my shoe. Sam will be looking for people trouble. Lagos jamming. It's not. I don't have any girl in Ghana. I don't know about Ayo and Valentine, but I don't have any girl in Ghana. Not one girl. What's the next story?
The next story is Michael Platini.
Okay, so Michelle Platini.
Michelle.
So when we're done with Michelle Platini, then
Okay, we're going now.
Yeah, then read the messages.
Okay. Studio, Michael,
Lagos jamming. Yes, we're jamming in Lagos in the sport kind of way. It's the Locker Room 981 here on Smooth 98.1, and Tega is dancing. So if you'd like to see that, please go on YouTube, watch Smooth 98.1 FM or Smooth 981. Look for it. Don't flick anything at me. I'm here. My name is Ayo Marese with.
My name is Valentine. Oh,
And Tega the Tiger.
Aye.
Tega Onojaife.
Thank you.
Oh, that's the first
That's
time
my
your surname is
name.
being mentioned. But yes, you can send us your messages on WhatsApp and also on YouTube. You can use the live chat option. It's always, blowing over there. I love it. And WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981. We have a few messages here on WhatsApp. Koji has a lot to say.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, sorry. Koji has a lot to say. Let me start from his latest. He says, can we also say Tiger, the sport oracle is looking peng with that new hairstyle. Thank you for going ahead of me. I was going to mention that she's looking good.
Yes.
And then we go back to our story. So something's happening with Michael Platini, former UEFA president. He has been questioned by French anti-corruption investigators over the awarding of the 2022 World Cup to Qatar. The former France midfielder and three-time Ballon d'Or winner has always denied any wrongdoing. Now, in a statement by Platini's lawyers, they reiterated that he had not been arrested and had expressed himself serenely and precisely, answering all the questions, including those on the conditions for the awarding of Euro 2016, and has provided useful explanations. They added, he has nothing to do with this event, which doesn't concern him at all. He's absolutely confident about what's next.
I did not understand why they called him in for Qatar 2022.
Why?
Because he was Europe president.
Yes.
Not FIFA president.
Well, he has some complicity.
Of course, there's supposed to be some. Yes, there is supposed to be, but it is tricky for me. First of all, that the Qatar 2022 World Cup was awarded. Was it 2010?
Yes, it was
or thereabout. Yeah,
2010, yes.
it was 2010 or thereabout. Many years ago, and they cried out then, and they did a clean house on FIFA. And after that, they did not. The police did not call him.
Wasn't that one of the reasons why Blatter stepped down as FIFA president?
He didn't step down. Let's call it what. Okay, you're being politically correct.
That was what was reported.
Yeah, being politically correct. But he did not step down. He was kicked out. Anyways, but at the end of the day, there was all those investigations, and they did not include the Qatar 2020. Is that what 22? Is that what they're telling me? That all that time is today that the cock came to crow on their head for them to come. Look, I think there is. Look, let me just say this. 1 minute, Michel Platini is talking about how FIFA is not as clean as they claim to be. The next minute, they're inviting him for talks. I'm not saying anything, but if the witch in the next compound shouted and the baby died in the morning, you know where to start pointing your fingers. But 1 minute he's accusing FIFA of something, the next minute they're calling him for questioning, since they're claiming they didn't arrest him. Yeah. I'm just saying, it's not, in as much as you can say that yes, there was corruption during, well, you can claim that there was corruption because you can't prove it. You can claim that there was corruption in awarding the Qatar 2022 World Cup to Qatar. You can say that, but it happened so many years ago, and there have been so many investigations, and then all of a sudden in 2019,
you're coming out.
They come and pick up a man and say, we want to ask you questions about this thing again. It's just a bit funny for me, a bit iffy, and it's not smelling fine. Okay. It's not smelling right.
No. On YouTube, Idris Abiodun says, hi guys, Super Falcons played against France. The referee and the commentator, it's a miracle we lost by a goal, VAR or not. I think the officiating was poor. Congratulations, ladies, you've done well. And Quadri earlier said, I thought the Super Falcons would get something against France, as Ayo did as well. But the referee and VAR were against us. They defended so well, they should keep their heads up. We stand by our ladies.
We stand by our ladies.
And Shay here says,
he says, Ayo, you love the Falcons, shout yes. If not for this VAR, video affliction free, the Falcons would have just qualified. Valentine, I wish Chile and Thailand quarrel and play like 1-0. Is it true that a few Super Eagles guys are sick on camp? For instance, Musa, Ekong, and so on.
Look, this is Women's World Cup. I know nothing of AFCON till Friday.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We're focusing on our focus.
Yes, so
All right, the next story now brings forward Kylian Mbappe. As France forward, Kylian Mbappe will 200% be at the Paris Saint-Germain next season, according to the club's president, Nasser El Khelaifi. He says, that's Khelaifi. He said, I will not let go of this crazy player. He wants to be more involved in our project to grow with the team, the club. But I explained to him that the responsibilities he does not ask. We must go get them. Sometimes even tear them away. We do not wait. We provoke.
So basically, what he's trying to say, first of all, Khalifa has been talking a lot lately. He has been doing the mostest. First thing, he came out to say that he's not going to retain any player with all those star attitude. Basically, I think he was pointing towards Neymar. That he's not going to tolerate all those star attitude, that every player must knuckle down and work hard. And now he's saying that he's not going to sell Kylian Mbappe, even if Kylian Mbappe is saying that maybe it's time to look for another challenge. And in football language, that usually means move to another club.
Exactly.
And that generally means move to another club. But he's saying that 100, in fact, he didn't say 100%.
He said 200%.
200%.
When he was asked, he said, will he be at PSG next year?
He
said, I'm not 100% sure.
200%.
200% sure.
Can you imagine? So he's saying 200% sure that he can keep Kylian Mbappe from anybody that wants to try and buy Kylian Mbappe. I think, you know, at the end of the day, there has to be more than just money, especially for a player like Kylian Mbappe. Some players will be okay with just making the money early on, but Kylian Mbappe is not one of those players for many reasons. Number one, where he comes from. Number two, what he's achieved so far at this early stage. Once you've tasted that victory, and he's tasted it at the highest level, the World Cup, he's hungry for more on an international stage. So telling him that he should continue winning Ligue 1 titles is not tantalizing enough. He's won one too many titles in France. Time for us to try and win UEFA Champions League. And that's what his ambitions would be, especially now, especially as he's made a lot of money. Okay. If he were a 40,000 a week player, maybe if PSG increased his salary, he'd stay back. But with the amount of money he's making and the amount of trophies he has already seen, I think his ambitions are a lot bigger than just increasing salary. So I don't know. Apart from that, I don't know how else PSG can keep him, because so far they haven't been able to go near what it is to win the Champions League. And so it's now a case of what does the player want and how many teams can afford to pay for the player. And I think the front runner for the player right now is Real Madrid, and we know that Real Madrid can break bank to buy players. So if the chase of Real Madrid is, the intent is serious, and they're going to bring the money, and the player is ready to go away, I don't know what PSG can do to keep him. So you can't be guaranteeing people 200%. Just say, I think the player will stay. But he's bragged a bit too much. So let's see what happens in these transfer talks.
Yomi says on WhatsApp, dear Tega, the game is becoming very hard on goalkeepers. The player is allowed to run and kick the ball, whichever, or even fake a kick. But the keeper is to play zombie till it's kicked. Use your analysis to state the heroic deeds done by the girls. All four in the VAR officials saw nothing wrong with the encroachment. No. Again, I'm saying this thing. VAR cannot review the encroachment. Even if the encroachment was there, VAR cannot review that except a player from one of the players that caused the infringement touched the ball. The only person that can say the penalty should be retaken on encroachment was the center referee, who did not see it or claims she did not see it. So VAR is only reviewing clear and obvious errors. It's not reviewing every single error. I mean, every single yes. So it's exactly. It's not video assisted refereeing is not the official refereeing. So even if the four VAR officials saw it, they can't call for it. Except the referee had made a decision and they'll say, okay, let's correct your decision. There was not encroachment or there was encroachment. So it's yes. So at the end of the day, VAR is still not perfect, which is part of what it is. So it's not that the VAR people were cheating you. They just couldn't call it. It's not within their jurisdiction. You understand? They are local government chairman of VI. This problem happened in Egbeda.
They cannot. I don't know how else to put it.
I'm telling you, the analogies are so.
Anyone who doesn't understand this after now, I'm sorry. But Biggie from K2 says the women did well for me. They defended as if demons were about to attack their golden gate. But shots on attackers. I hardly see a video of the France France keeper. We need more prayer fuel. We need more prayer fuel. Ayo, we can win this. Thank you. I'm going into my prayer closet.
Yes.
Oh, Biggie, thank you.
We'll be back after this.
98.
I don't know why people keep saying this. VR cannot treat you. I don't know what else to say.
Anybody for the party?
They cannot treat you. They have to call for it. So on the encroachment issue, on the goalkeeper leaving the line, VAR can assist because the keeper was playing the ball, literally. She was in play. But if the players were not directly in play, the VAR can review it. It's only the center referee that can call it. And she was blindfolded. What's the name of that movie that they covered Sandra Bullock's eye?
Bird box.
Bird box.
She was bird boxing. Nothing. I don't know how else to. So VAR didn't cheat you. Referee didn't really cheat you. You could say she was incompetent, but she didn't cheat you. Because nothing concerned Honduras with, Nigeria or France. They didn't qualify for World Cup. They are not sure they can ever qualify for World Cup. She's not hating any of you. And the commentator can only talk about who she knows. And generally, what have the Africans really done that they know about? So they will talk about the information that they have the most. Think about it. In order for me to get Super Falcon's story this morning, I have to search Google over and over again. And I still saw only 2 stories. The Nabi from 2 days ago and Mikel Obi from 1 day ago. Those are not stories. And we have reporters and journalists.
So we
in
have
France.
Comments. Mm-hmm. Which would you prefer, comments or story? One more story.
Which is a story?
So we have one matter, Manchester United midfielder.
One matter is of no consequence. Even Tonga, no.
Even Tonga could beat us.
Yes.
Maradona.
Copa America is today.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you check about the French story, girls, you'll see a lot of stories. So sometimes it's what we put out there and we're not putting out enough. So the commentators will only have research largely for the Europeans and maybe the South Americans, but the Africans don't have as much on the internet, as much coverage, as much detail. So it appears that the commentator is in favor of the one side, but really it's her research that is in favor of that side because that's the only people she could find stories on. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, you people should be watching YouTube because this sneak preview I'll be giving you. Sad, isn't it?
You guys get the best. I think YouTube viewers should actually pay a token for the kind of behind the scenes analysis that you get from Taya. It's not part of our job description.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Why am I trending? Okay, I'm not trending.
You are trending. We are coming back, or you people that are just relaxing? Like
no, I just checked Twitter and.
Are you trending?
Not really.
That would be lovely.
Of course not. I'm not.
Wait, so let's take comment to take. We have a lot of comments.
Oh yeah, take comment. But we have to talk about
Tonga. Okay.
Copa America. No, just take comments.
Take comments. Or Alakberry.
Already? Studio Max are up. Studio is live. If you check your time, it's 17 minutes before 9 o'clock. We're still talking sports inside of the locker room with Tega Supreme. We have your messages, but before that...
Yes, Copa America. Even Tonga could beat us, Maradona said. So, Argentina legend Diego Maradona has launched a stinging attack on the current national side. You realize that even Tonga could beat us, he said. We have a prestige we built up kicking and punching. Let it be remembered that when we left Peru, our boss was smashed up. What's left from all that? What does this shirt mean? You have to feel it.
I'm sorry, but he's right. Because at this point, it's looking like the Argentine team is totally dead. And if you remember that Argentina is one of the footballing greats, then you'll be sad. But they have an opportunity to do damage control today when they play Paraguay. So let's see how long they last in Copa America.
What are their chances?
They have chances.
That's so sad. Because I I know how. I know
Look,
that
they
Argentina
should
used to
beat
be.
Paraguay, but they are Argentina. So what can I say?
All right, let's go to your comments now. So we have Emma here. Emma is here with some lyrical, he's spitting lyrical genius. That penalty call was a draw. Just wonder how that referee sleeps at night. She made the hosts look like parasites and ruined the game even for neutrals. When they go low, the Falcons fly high. Love it. No French kisses from me till further notice. Tega, wait, Fez. Does that mean that Qatar got the hosting right on a Platini of gold?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I like it. Okay.
All right, more comment here. We have this one. Ooh, Mosun has
Yes.
a long comment for us.
Mosun says, I have sent messages.
All right, so Mosun, we'll take your comment off air. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And this one is from Shei. Shei says, Tega, you be football professor. Tega, how about you said you do not want to talk about Sparrows now. About 17 of them are sick now. Maybe okay.
Oh, all right, so
Complaints.
Yeah. All right, so Ziggy from BI says, good morning, guys. The most important detail of the game against France to me wasn't the penalty. That one was out of our hands. It was how many times we gave the ball away. We could barely take the ball successfully from our half players. It was frustrating. And Oshoala must have been responsible for 60% of it. I don't know if she was playing with an injury, but I need some kocha and and just so that we don't leave our YouTube fan behind, one comment here from YouTube. We have this one here from Ulujimi Adewale Akimbogun. Tega, I think that penalty against Nigeria is a little soft. Similar thing happened in the game between Italy and Brazil.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's continue this conversation, especially learn about ladies in sports, as Tega is passionate about that. So follow at LIS International on Twitter, but follow Tega to carry on this conversation on Twitter at Tega Supreme. That is our handle. We here at Smooth 91 FM are still available for a fun conversation inside of Lagos Talks 91, which is coming up next. Let's examine the story that highlights Sanwo-Olu's retraction of his earlier statements. It's coming from the Vanguard newspaper. But join us to talk as you call the number 0144899981.
All right, so guys, you asked for it, especially I think it was Olajuwon Olusoya who said we cannot see Tega's hairstyle. You saw me literally physically violating her by bringing her to the camera.
I'm going to sue Smooth FM.
And she refusing. So guys, I do it for you, but Tega has to be cooperative.
I don't understand.
Beyonce hairstyle. Yeah, flick it.
I'm not like that.
I tried. All right, thank you.
That's